Hey guys, what's going on? And thanks for tuning in to Legatum Gaming, where today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on the 1.7 PTS of Week 2. So, State of the Game kind of brought out a video on Thursday, kind of telling you guys about the updates which are coming, and how kind of like the PTS is performing so far. So what I've kind of like done is I've summarized in this video, and also I'm going to copy edits and explain it in layman terms. So kind of some of the points which will be covered will be classified gear, exotic caches, how they are selecting people for the console PTS, when the console PTS is coming, what they've kind of done with Striker, because everyone's been talking about Striker at this current moment in time, about how powerful it is and it needs a nerf, and then kind of like a little bit more around classified gear and just a brief overview of the global events. Now, I'll try and make this video nice and short and sweet, just so you guys kind of can understand it in a little bit of layman terms, and then any comments you have, then please feel free to let me know, and I will answer them as best I can. Alright, so let's get into it.
Basically, the way we look at it is that we want classified gear to be, we want it to be good, we want it to be better. We want it so that when, as a player, when you get a full classified gear set, you should be able to do pretty much, anything in the game, because that's really when you, if you min-max a classified gear set, that's when you should feel like you've mastered the game, and you should be able to do pretty much everything.
Alright, so you just kind of like heard him, and obviously it's going to be like the end game ultimate to get. Clearly these are going to be a rarity. However, whilst we're talking about how to get the classified gear, there is a nice trick to do. So if you guys get or have exotic caches at the moment, a nice trick to do is to keep them up until the final release, or the new update if you like. Kind of like what everybody did for in 1.5 for 1.6, and what everybody did in 1.6 for 1.61 with the updated gear. But majority, or the last time this has happened, was 1.5 into 1.6, when everybody wanted it for the updated MDR, etc., for the exotics. So especially considering everybody's after the Ninja bike because of the update it has and the way in which it's going to work in 1.7. If you guys do have exotic caches saved, or are in the process of getting them, you definitely need to save them for 1.7. I would recommend doing that. He then sort of goes on to say it's the end game, so it's specifically designed to be a grind. And also with the classified gear, in addition to this, they've changed some of the stamina. Sorry, not stamina. They've changed some of the base core stats. So, for example, it's 1274 is the minimum stat for a classified gear, whilst the maximum is 1401. And he does go on to say that you can recalibrate it, so clearly this is some great news for you guys to have. Clearly I'm very excited for this, however, more excited that the maximum you can get up to is 1401. So where everyone's used to like 1272, 1271, it's now kind of like 1401, so an extra like 140 is that. So think of the extra DPS, the extra stamina, the extra skill power, which can be achieved through this. Now, I'm going to talk about Striker and the nerf which has happened in the PTS shortly, so hang on just for that now.
So what we did with Striker, classified, is basically we changed the 6-piece talent. It used to be that it would give you, like 0.1% per stack of health per second. So if you would have 100 stack, you would get 10% of health, plus 0.01% per 1,000 stamina. So if you were at, say, 6,000 stamina, you would actually get 16% health per second when you have the 100 stack. What we did now is we changed the 1,000 stamina requirements to 2,000. So basically, the extra health that you get, depending on your stamina, has been divided by 2. So what that means with the 6,000 example, for example, if you have 6,000 stamina, you would get 16% health per second with a 100 stack. Now you're going to get 13%. So that's a decrease of the amount of health you get, but the mechanics haven't changed. So it's still going to be the same. It's still going to be pretty good. Obviously, it still has better stats as a classified set than other items. It's just the health, the healing effect is going to be a bit lower than what it used to be. So PTS on consoles, Where are we there with that? So it's still happening. There is no change here. I've seen some people just speculating that we were going to announce that the PTS on console was cancelled. It is not. It is still happening. We are still on track for opening them next week, opening the PTS on console next week. We're looking at towards...
Good news then, guys. So I'm still on track for next week, as you just heard him say, which is great. Now, he does go on to say it's early of next week. Now, although he doesn't give a specific day, my guess is kind of like a Monday or a Tuesday. And then it does go on to say also that on later in the week, then he is finally, or they, shall I say, are finally opening up the PTS for us to actually use. So my guess is it would kind of be on a Thursday when they do the actual standard weekly updates. So keep checking your mailboxes on the actual Monday and the Tuesday just to make sure if you guys are eligible both on the Xbox and on the PlayStation. So being a PlayStation player myself, of course, I will be the first to check. So just keep your eyes open, guys. It's next week. It's early. We don't know when. So kind of Monday, Tuesday, and they're opening it towards the end of the week. Now, just to add... I keep saying referring to the console versus the PC gamers, are going to be a week behind with the PTS. So, for example, when we join it on the Thursday or Friday, let's just say Thursday for now to make things a little less complicated. So, when we join it on the Thursday, we will be playing PTS 2, whilst the PC gamers will be playing PTS 3. So, they're always a week in front, which doesn't bother me at all. It's just the way it is, and just thought I would let you guys know that. That's so they can maybe iron out any bugs and kind of just let the guys know what needs fixing. Let's say, for example, we then do the trial and error, being the week behind, double check the theory, and of course then confirm if something is broken or our recommendations for the patch. So that's kind of what's happening with it. You do have to download the version which is on the PlayStation Store or also the Xbox Store, shall we say. You check your email. What you have to do is reply to the email. So if you guys are lucky enough to get an email towards early of next week, make sure you reply. What happens is once you reply, you will then get your serial key, which you can then enter once you have downloaded the PTS version. Do make sure, though, that if you are unable to play, then you give your key or your serial number to somebody who is eligible. Now, that's just taking a quote directly from the man himself, which kind of does make sense. There's 10,000 players who can get entry to the PTS on 1.7 across both platforms. Now, the way that they are judging it or marking it in terms of who gets it is based on play, how long they have played for, current time played, and it also gave the example that if somebody has been playing for, let's say, 1 year, has racked up maybe 300 hours of gameplay, but has not played in the last month for whatever reasons, let's just say they're on holiday, and then somebody who is level 30 and has only been playing for 4 months, however, is more active, they will of course get the keys.
So that means if you had been active in the 30 days prior to last week, you are going to be put in this data if you have a valid email address linked to your Uplay account. So if you don't have a valid email address, you've been removed from this data, because we want to make sure that when we send keys, they're actually arriving to a mailbox that is valid. So
Okay, guys, so that's just kind of like a brief overview of what 1.7 PTS of Week 2 brings. So just as a recap, it is open to console players still, and it's looking to be open next week early, so maybe Monday or Tuesday, and it will be available towards the end of the week. So they didn't specify days on either, however, probably to the conclusion, Monday or Tuesday, and then it's available on the Thursday. They did mention that a great idea is to save your exotic caches, and then that way when it becomes or turns into the classified gear, or you got a better chance of getting it, especially for the ninja backpack, then I would recommend you doing that. So Striker has been nerfed, but it's only the classified, the 6th piece, which is the health, which we've recapped on that, and then obviously the classified gear does have better rolls on it, so 1274 to 1401, and then of course, last but not least, there is various global events. So for example, there's a current one which is Classes Outbreak, which specializes in headshots. This is when you headshot them and then you get an extra headshot damage as you go on. Of course, they haven't gave any inclination in terms of what the next or future various global events will be. However, the idea is it will change. Now, there was a little question in terms of would this take over PvP, if you like, and it would be focused on PvE. However, let's see how it goes. So I hope that this video helped you or made you understand a little bit more about the PTS and what it's involved. It's just to make it a little simpler opposed to listening or watching like a whole hour or 30-minute video. Just try to narrow it down and just kind of explain it a little easier for you guys. Alright, if you did like the video, do drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about 1.7. I'm certainly excited. I'm going to be checking my mailbox on Monday morning and Tuesday, of course, if it doesn't land on the morning of Monday. Hopefully, I will be very happy. If you guys do get an email, then let me know. Good luck and subscribe, guys. Have a great day.